Welcome back to the channel. A lot has been happening in the market, in terms of inflation, the Fed, tapering, the Russia invasion of Ukraine, and the energy price soaring higher. A lot has been happening. The Chinese stocks going deep, even though the Chinese government, has signaled support for the equity market in China. But don't forget, we still have some stocks declaring earnings. And on this episode, we would look at the earnings for Gamestop and FedEx. Gamestop, you remember Gamestop? One of those stocks that made the year 2021 with the short squeeze and all that, with the guys on the Wall Street and the Reddit guys, that scenario in 2021. Gamestop was one of those stocks. It was Gamestop and AMC, but we're talking about Gamestop earnings. Actually, Gamestop misses on their earnings, which is very surprising. A lot of people were expecting them to actually beat their earnings and revenue. They missed on their the earnings. But Gamestop is set to launch NFT marketplace. The revenue was 2.25 billion. The estimate was 2.3 billion. But they missed on the earnings. FedEx, on the other hand, FedEx also missed on the earnings. FedEx revenue is 23.6 billion, and the estimate was 23.5 billion. The adjusted EPS is $4.59. The estimate is $4.65. So they missed on the earnings. But you need to look at one thing about FedEx. FedEx is one of those value stocks. We consider it as a value stock. Value sometimes depend on your own metric, but for us, it's a value stock. But FedEx is near its 52 weeks low, so it might just be a good opportunity. A buying opportunity if you don't have FedEx, but you need to also do your metric to be sure it fits within your portfolio. For us, we don't have FedEx in any of our funds, but we will consider, after making a valuation, because it's actually trending down because of the earning miss. But we would see if we could add it to one of our funds. I also want to add it to my own portfolio, so I will do my valuation on it. But then let's have a look at the earnings in detail, the balance sheet and the financial, cash flow and income statement. We will also have a look at the chart to see price action. We will have a look at the chart to see price action, if there's anything we can learn from that.
See the announcement 21 hours ago. Here, what you need to look at is here. 2022. Okay. Sorry about that. Let me drag this here. So here, the detail is estimated was 0.77, reported is minus $1.86, which is the first quarter Q4 2022. So quarterly earnings, this is what you need to look at for the quarterly earnings, which is, these are the previous ones in 2021, but the current one is the earning per share is $1 minus 186 cents. The consensus forecast was 0.77 cents. The surprise was minus 341% in percentage. The yearly one, what you need to look at the yearly one is in January 2023, the consensus is 0.01. On the high side of the EPS will be for the forecast $1.04. On the lower side in minus 137. You can look further for more information on that. Quarterly earnings forecast 2022, the next one. We'll see whether he will beat the earnings for the next one. But the consensus is minus 0.116 cent. So let's have a look at the financial. The financial, I want to look at the income statement, then the balance sheet. The income statement for GameStop 2018 is just 8.5 billion, 2019 8.2 billion, 2020 6.4. GameStop was in some kind of distress. I mean, it was being shorted one way or the other. That was also part of the what the Reddit guys, the Wall Street guys were talking about. In 2021, their total revenue is just slightly over 5 billion, and cost of revenue is 3.8. I mean, you can drill down to say gross profit, after tax and all that. But what I want to see is the total liability. But here you can still look at cash and cash equivalent. See, fixed asset, intangible asset, other asset, deferred asset charges, a lot of information. But what I want to see is the total liability. And here, their total liability is stated to be slightly over 2 billion. Now, let us look at under the cash flow. Um, Here, it is always stated as net cash flow, not free cash flow. Net cash flow. The net cash flow here is 121 million. You know, if you compare this to their total liability, I mean, it's a lot, but yeah, it's, companies are allowed to have debt and all that, but it shouldn't just be too much, and it should be in proportional to their, I mean, that's their current net cash, but their liability is over 2 billion. Let's have a look at FedEx. FedEx, um, some fundamentals about FedEx. The key data: it is on the New York Stock Exchange. The market cap is 57 billion, 57.3 billion. The P ratio is 11.9. FedEx is actually a value stock. The earnings per share is $18.15. Annualized dividend is $3. Ex dividend date is March 4. They're paying dividend. The 52 weeks high is 319, while the 52 weeks low is 199. Let's have a look at its earning details. They actually missed their earnings, but I think they beat on revenue. But let's have a look at it. FedEx earning date, that was yesterday, March 17. What I like to see here is this. The estimated was $4.69. The reported was $4.59. Just a little miss, but then it matters. You can see quarterly earnings surprise amount. This is the current one. For the yearly one, we would be looking at the year 2023. I mean, we're still in 2022, but the consensus forecast. This is for it will be 20.67 quarterly earnings. You can also look at this in details, the forecast. But I'm interested in looking at the financials. So let's have a look at the financial. Under the financial, I want to see the income statement and then the balance sheet and cash flow. The income statement 2018, you can see 65 billion, 2019, 69 billion, 2020, 69 billion. And here, end of 2021 to 2022, they have it as 83 billion. This is massive, that's over 20%, growth in revenue. Um, FedEx is actually one of those, you know, value stock. It's a value stock, so I'm not surprised in the revenue and cost of revenue is also, they've been very consistent in any way. Gross profit is 51 billion. You can drill down to see, after tax and after salary deduction and all that. But for me, I want to see their total liability, and here you can see cash and cash equivalent, the current assets, other current assets. But what I want to see is their total liability. The total liability is 58 billion, 58.6 billion. Let's have a look at the free cash flow. Here it is stated as net cash flow. Net cash flow is slightly over 2 billion. Wow. 2 billion. If they were to pay their liabilities from their cash flow, it would take them about 10 years, Let's have a look at the technical details on more charts. So guys, we're looking at GameStop. As you can see, GameStop is actually trending down, but like many other stocks, that we're still in correction territory, and it is trading below 20-day moving average. Also, it is just the level of resistance here. It was a support term resistance, and it's sitting there. The resistance is holding, but before now, it was actually trending down, as you can see. So it was trending down before now. Let's have a look at it on a weekly chart. On a weekly chart, you can see there's a level of resistance here, and here is sitting on a support, but we are trading under 20-day moving average. It's currently on support here. So for GameStop, as you can see, this is the short squeeze. All this happened last year. It's a very volatile. I mean, it was a very volatile stock last year, but now it's different. So let's have a look at. Let's go back on a. Sorry about that. Let's go back on a daily chart. So this is it on a daily chart. Let's have a look at it on. Let's have a look at FedEx. FedEx is different from GameStop. FedEx is a value stock, and as you can see, it is sitting on 20-day moving average as support. Like many other stocks, it was also um, down due to the uh, correction territory, as you can see. What you can see here is that he was within this channel. You can see higher, lower, low, lower, higher. It was coming down, and he broke this side on the upper side here. He broke it. So for FedEx, FedEx is, I mean, there's a bullish reversal and a bullish trend, which it is already confirmed because it's above this level, above 20-day moving average. So, and this is like this is an anchor candle. So this confirms the bullish reversal for FedEx on a daily chart. Let's have a look at it on a weekly chart. Wow, on a weekly chart, I think FedEx is actually 31% from the high. Let's just do this. Yeah, it is sitting on support here on 216, 216. It actually closed yesterday at 227. I was around here, around here. So on a weekly chart, it has been within this channel here, but it is sitting here on the support, which is also the 200-day moving average. You can also see there's another level of resistance here. So there's quite some layers to to go, but from the all-time high, like we saw, from the all-time high, let's just check it again. It has dropped 31%, just slightly above 31%.
So we have seen the balance sheet, we have seen the earnings details, cash flow, income statement, and we have also looked at the chart, the price action. Be careful, do your valuation, have your own metric. For us, we will do our own valuation and add it to our fund. I will add it to my own portfolio too. That is after my own valuation. You need to do your own. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. We will continue to produce content that would support your investment journey. Please call again.